Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News starts now.
It is Super Tuesday, so do you know what to do? The breakdown of what you need to know as you head out to the polls today.
People are going to test positive. Not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 5. There will be many who test positive.
And a warning from the World Health Organization as officials say we are entering uncharted territory when it comes to the coronavirus outbreak.
Good morning and thanks for staying with us for 23 ABC News at 6 a.m. I'm Melissa Flores.
And I'm Mike Hart. Let's start things off with CHP Officer Robert Rodriguez. Take a look outside at our roadways and how things are shaping up. Robert?
Thank you very much, Mike. Not too good. We just received a call of a major injury crash, and this is going to be off of Taft Highway west of Buena Vista Road, and that's going to actually be closer to Interstate 5. And I know that's a very heavily traveled roadway this time of the morning, but you will be turned around. That roadway is completely blocked right now, so please choose an alternate route. Otherwise, expect some pretty major delays if you do plan on traveling out that way this morning. Also, Tutman Road, north of Tutman, we were still on scene of an earlier crash, an overturned big rig that happened earlier during the night. So it looks like, again, we are still on scene at that location as well. That's going to be north of Grace Avenue, north of the city of Tutman. But for those of you who are wanting to travel over the Grapevine or through the Tehachapi's, so far, so good. That's my look at traffic. Elena, we'll send it back to you.
High pressure is dominating offshore, so that leaves us with this dry weather pattern and a warming trend for the next couple afternoons. Nothing warm about the 40s right now here on the valley floor. Look at those 30s in Delano, Kernville, down into Fraser Park, just 27 in Tehachapi. There are some high clouds. You see a couple little spots on the radar there. A sign that there's moisture in the air, but we have plenty of sunshine and stability and warming later today. No rain in that forecast. These temperatures are so high above average, they're actually pushing up into my son's there, but you see that high of 75 back there, or even warmer the rest of the week. Talk more about that coming up.
Today is Super Tuesday, and for those who are headed out to vote today, we've got a couple of things that you might want to remember when it comes to voting in Kern County.
Yeah, 23 ABC's Daniela Garrido is live at the elections office to walk us through the process. Daniela?
That's right. It's a big day around the county. People are going to be heading out to vote today for Super Tuesday. Now, it's a big day for Democratic presidential nominees. They're going to be vying for those delegates. There's also a couple of local measures that are going to be on the ballot. California is actually one of 14 states that are participating in Super Tuesday, and polls right here in Kern County are going to open in just about an hour.
In 2017, a change in state law moved the California primary from June to the first Tuesday of March.
By voting in March, we're right in the thick of the primary season, and our votes are going to help determine the nominee for all political parties.
The Kern County Elections Office has had 2 years to prepare for Super Tuesday. Thousands of Kern County residents will head to the polls to cast their votes for local races and ballot measures, as well as a Democratic nominee for the presidency.
One thing we know heading into 2020 is that we have record voter registration. There's 20.5 million Californians registered to vote. Secretary Padilla has been clear that he expects record turnout. And so we've been working with counties to make sure they're ready for record turnout and have things like adequate ballot supplies, enough staff at polling locations.
If you are not registered to vote for Super Tuesday, you still have time to do so today.
People who are not registered to vote yet can still conditionally register to vote, and this is the first year that can be done at the polling sites themselves. So if people aren't registered, they still want to vote, they can go to a polling site or they can come to the elections office.
If you are registered to vote but don't know where your nearest polling site is, you can find it on your sample ballot or by typing your address into the county or state elections website.
Because this is a presidential primary, voting is by party. And so if people want to change their party, they can do that at the polling sites as well.
Once you are at the polling site, there is no required information needed to cast your vote.
You will receive your sample ballot from the county and a voter information guide from the state that you're welcome to bring in with you. And you are entitled to bring any kind of materials that you want with you into the polling booth to help you make your decision.
Those planning to vote today should know California polls close at 8 p.m.
If you are in line by 8 p.m. on election night, you have a right to cast a ballot.
Again, polls are going to be opening in just about an hour and they'll be closing at 8 p.m. If you have any questions, you can also call the County of Kern, and we're going to have coverage for you all day right here on 23 ABC. And you can also tune into our website, turn23.com, as well as our social media pages. For now, we're live at the County of Kern. I'm Daniela Garrido, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Local firefighters will be hosting a pancake breakfast today to honor Porterville's fallen firefighters. Crews from city and county fire departments will be at Bakersfield Fire Station 1 for a pancake breakfast. Today's event will honor fallen firefighters Captain Raymond Figueroa and Patrick Jones, who lost their lives in a library fire in Porterville just last month. The pancake breakfast starts today at 7 a.m. and then a taco lunch will follow at 10. It's $5 a plate. To enter the station, you can enter off of 22nd Street in downtown Bakersfield.
In other news, the Ventura County Sheriff's Department has issued a silver alert for a man considered at risk due to medical conditions that could be somewhere in Kern County. CHP tweeting out these pictures of 84-year-old Cesar Mendoza. Take a look. Police say he was last seen 2 days ago in Ojai, Ventura County, wearing a navy blue baseball cap, gray hooded jacket, a white t-shirt with gray sweatpants and beige sandals. He's believed to be driving that white 2011 Toyota Corolla, California license plate 6UOG 932. According to police, Mendoza can become disoriented. If you see him, you're asked to call 911 right away.
And a McFarland man was sentenced to over 16 years in prison for distributing meth on multiple occasions in 2019. According to the Department of Justice, 34-year-old Edgar Dopey Hernandez was sentenced to 16 years and 6 months in prison for possessing with the intent to distribute meth as well as firearm possession. According to court documents, on various days last year, Hernandez sold meth in the McFarland area. He was arrested on March 6th of last year, and agents seized a .45 caliber handgun and meth. This is Hernandez's 8th felony conviction within a 16-year span.
All right, now for the latest on the coronavirus emergency. The head of the World Health Organization is warning that we're in, quote, uncharted territory, and overnight, another state, Georgia, confirming its first 2 cases of the disease.
Meanwhile, on the West Coast, another person was taken by ambulance from the nursing home near Seattle where the virus has turned deadly. And in New York, authorities are taking drastic steps to protect people on public transportation, sanitizing all subway stations and buses.
ABC's Kenneth Moten has more.
In New York City overnight, an ambitious new plan to fight the coronavirus. Every night, workers will scrub hundreds of subway stations and thousands of subway cars and buses, hoping to slow the spread of the virus.
People are going to test positive. Not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 5. There will be many who test positive.
In suburban Seattle overnight, an ambulance took another person from this nursing home, now dealing with an outbreak of the virus. The death toll in Washington state, at least 6, and 4 of those victims lived at that nursing facility. Colleen Mallory's 89-year-old mother, who suffers from dementia, is a resident.
You know, if she gets sick, she's going to be gone.
More than 100 cases of the virus have been confirmed in the U.S. across 14 states. The CDC says nearly 1 million test kits could be available by the end of the week. But a New York doctor calls the lack of testing so far a national scandal, claiming he had to plead with the health department to test people for the virus.
I'm here to tell you right now, at one of the busiest hospitals in the country, I don't have it at my fingertips. I still have to call the Department of Health. I still have to make my case, plead to test people. This is not good.
I think it reflects the frustration on the part of healthcare providers who are trying to test people for this. But some good news, we just learned that even right here in New York City, tests are now being deployed. And so hopefully that will continue rapidly across the country.
Vice President Mike Pence, who's leading the government response, insists the U.S. is prepared for anything. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
And hopes for interest rate cuts are now driving hope in the stock market around the world that has really been battered by fears of the spread of COVID-19. Markets in Hong Kong and South Korea all rising after the Dow posted a 5% jump yesterday, its best in more than a decade following that big plunge.